Hello, everybody. This is Alicia or AVP. Oh, and who could be this stranger on the other side of me? I don't know who that could be. It looks like it's Batman. What is Batman doing here? I thought my husband was supposed to be here, but okay, Batman. Hello, Batman.
I'm Batman.
I,
There you go.
I think Batman was sabotaging your part of your stream, my dear.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll keep him with Tom and Jerry so they behave.
Ah, Tom and Jerry are with you too. Okay, that's
Yes, they are.
cool. Hello, Tom. Hello, Jerry. Good to see you too. So,
Hey,
yes, we are back with another chapter of the novella tonight for the Orville, chapter 12 in the novella. And also a very happy birthday to our beloved Ed Mercer or Seth MacFarlane, who's 50 years old today. So, happy
happy
birthday.
birthday, Seth MacFarlane. You should have pulled out the picture of the autograph for the.
Oh, yes, I have those.
You need to hang those up.
I do. I really do need to hang those up. But yeah, today is his 50th birthday, folks. So, without Seth, there would be no Orville. So, thank you, Seth, for creating the Orville. So happy birthday to you, or however you're celebrating it, whether it's with a
Happy
Jack.
birthday.
Yes, cheers, cheers, cheers to our beloved Ed Mercer. So yeah, we are moving along. This novella is almost finished.
Yes, just a few more chapters.
Two more chapters and an epilogue. So technically three. So we're moving along pretty well. So yeah, I mean after that we will do the Orville comics created by our friend Todd.
And those look fun.
They look very fun. They remind me of the ones that were created by David A. Goodman and David Cabeza, and the one that colored it, Michael Atuye, or however you pronounce his name. But it looks very, very good,
Right.
similar in the style. So yeah, and we know the writer's strike has been resolved. Hopefully, with the SAG thing, we'll see what happens with
We're
that.
still waiting on that. Yeah, because we were talking about Cobra Kai. I was wondering when that was going to, if there's a date for that or something, and there's still no date. They're thinking
Right.
either late 2024 or early 2025.
Right. So it all depends on how the writer's strike with the actors portion gets straightened out. So yeah. But yeah, we apologize for the not letting you guys know sooner. It's just I just started working and the way my work schedule is, I didn't know how it was gonna be. So I'm still in the process of getting settled with my new job basically. But it's going really, really well. I
Yeah.
enjoyed. I mean, I've done it 3 days. Technically, I did training for a couple days. I've interacted with my what they call consumer, but basically I'm basically assisting people becoming independent, basically an everyday task.
She's helping people. Good stuff.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and the person I'm doing it with. He's a very good kid. I can't tell you too much details, but I'm just saying he's good. He's a very good kid.
Yep.
So who knows? Maybe I'll get to introduce him to the Orville series at one point.
So we are now officially a dual income.
Yes, we are. So that's gonna be cool. We're looking for the Halloween coming up very soon.
Yes. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Hold
early Halloween, yes.
on. Ooh, happy Halloween.
Ooh, we got a spooky. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed that little preview of it with Emily and Beetlejuice. Oh wait, it was Beetlejuice.
hmm
I'm not trying to say his name so many times because I don't want him to come out.
No, you don't.
But yes, but yeah, we're gonna do the novella and we'll keep you posted. I really, really, as soon as I get my work schedule settled and everything like that, we can hopefully do some more streams with gaming again too. That'll be fun because I know they got another Jackbox pack, and now that I am working, I can hopefully add that one to my library. So we'll have 10 packs to choose from instead of just 9. So yeah, are you ready, my dear, for chapter 12 with our
Mhm.
beloved Otto and everybody?
Yep.
So yeah, poor little Otto, still believing that he's in his trapped world. That's how I can describe it. All right. Doors started to reveal the stark, empty interior of the Orville environment simulator. Claire and Adam stepped inside, followed by Tala and the two-man security contingent. Both she and the guards knew full well that her Zealand strength was more than adequate to subdue a single
Well,
human.
hold on a second. I think your audio is coming in and out.
Is it? Hang on.
Or maybe you just need to be a little louder.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hang on. There we go. Let's try that. Let me plug that back in. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Is that better?
Mhm.
Okay. I'll move my mic close to my mouth too. I gotta speak up too. Okay, let me turn this up a little. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. Chapter 12. The doors parted to reveal the stark, empty interior of the Orville's environmental simulator. Claire and Adam stepped inside, followed by Tala and her two-man security contingent. Both she and the guards knew full well that her Zelayan strength was more than adequate to subdue a single human male should he become violent. However, the increased security presence was merely as a deterrent to prevent the likelihood of resistance in the first place. Ed and Kelly remained a discreet distance behind the rest, along with Leonard and Pamela, who had begun to look as though they were running treacherously low on sleep. Claire come see in Adam's widening eyes a mixture of fear, hope, and recognition. He must have had some dim, warped understanding that this room, familiar as it now was, could be the portal back into his own world. She moved to the panel and addressed the ship's computer. Begin simulation. As always, the very molecules in the air appeared to shimmer, and the momentary sense of disrupted equilibrium that accompanied the transition from the real to the imaginary gave way to a crystallized image. They were back in Poland. It was the very parlor in which Ed and Kelly had first visited, quote, Otto Vogel. Quaint but well appointed, with the smell of cooking sausages filled the air. And there in the center, with an oddly placid smile on her face, showing rows of sharp, white, simulated teeth, stood Annalise. She held young Alger in her arms as she gazed with artificially generated affection at the man who had loved her with such genuine passion. At the sight of her, his broken constitution suddenly appeared to reintegrate, like a moving picture of a fallen building played in reverse, restoring its shards into solid form.
Annalise, Alger, thank God.
He ran to her,
Have they mistreated you? Are you all right?
but when he reached her, his body passed right through hers, sending him to tumbling to the floor, just as he had been back in the camp. He staggered to his feet, stunned, and immediately pivoted to try again. And again he pitched forward, finding no purchase from the apparition. Instinctively, Pamela moved to help him, but Claire silently gripped her elbow, shooting her a look that said it all. He has to get there on his own. This time, when Adam rose to his feet, he simply stared at his wife in a stupor of sorts and tremendously extended a hand to her cheek. Of course, all he caressed was empty air. And then at last a pre-dawn realization began to shine the first rays of its light upon his awareness. He looked again at the smiling face of the woman he loved, and for the first time he saw her as something very different. The smile was a hollow, ironic, pitying smile, not cruel, but not warm. To Adam's eyes there was now an emptiness there, almost as if he were looking at a faded photograph instead of a living, breathing, flesh and blood woman. And while he did not truly understand how these illusions had been created, he began to process their true nature. They were phantoms, echoes.
Annalise,
He fell to his knees.
no.
Claire watched with a combination of deep empathy and clinical relief as he huddled there, pressing the heels of his hands into his eyes and wailing. She nodded to Pamela. It's all right now. The two of them approached the crumpled, diminished figure, and Claire knelt down beside him. I'm sorry, she whispered. They're not real. They never were. Ed Mercer strode purposely through the corridors of his ship, making sure to take in as he always did the astonishing beauty of her construct. The day he had been welcomed aboard by Admiral Halsey, who had given him this, his first command, he had silently vowed never to stop appreciating its technological artistry and never to take it for granted. He loved the Orville, her shiny brass colored corridors, her expansive windows affording breathtaking views of the cosmos from everywhere on board, her grand spiral staircase that opened up into the spacious world within a world that was a command bridge, the elegant curvatures of her hull. He was proud as hell to be her captain, and he knew the thrill would never get old. Yet, even within this familiar, homey environment, surprises inevitably lurked. As he approached the guest quarters, Ed was momentarily thrown by the presence of an armed security guard posted outside. It took him a split second to recall that, of course, he had ordered the guard's presence himself. However, it was decidedly irregular for such an extreme protocol to be enacted aboard a starship, and the reflexive part of his brain had instinctively reacted with perplexity. This was a home base, a self territory, which under normal circumstances did not require such visible precautions. Ed nodded to the guard and hit the door chime.
Come in.
Said the voice from the inside. The door whooshed open and he entered the room. Claire was seated on the sofa with Pamela and Leonard, who, though their faces indicated they were lost and confused as ever, at least appeared to have managed a bit of rest. Claire rose to her feet. Captain,
How's he doing?
Ed asked. He's made some progress.
How much?
More than I'd hoped for, actually. He's beginning to understand that as alien as this world may be, it's the real one. I suppose we're lucky that the simulation was in the mid 20th century as opposed to the Middle Ages or ancient Egypt. He at least had the advantage of living in an age of relative reason and scientific literacy. He seems to understand that we're human. Could be worse. A 12th century man, for example, might have come to the conclusion that we're gods requiring propitiation. Ed turned to Pamela.
Does he understand that you're his parents?
She turned away from him with a worried look and a quivering lip.
It's hard to know at the moment.
Said Leonard.
He won't answer any of our questions. He'll barely speak to us.
Ed waited an appropriate beat, then asked gently.
May I try?
Although he was their son, Leonard and Pamela looked instinctively to Claire. A week ago, she would no doubt have advised Ed to afford Adam Collier the care and delicacy with which one might handle antique china, but now she simply nodded. Ed approached the bedroom door with slight reservations about his own motives. At least for the time being, it was his job to assist in the shepherding of this man's adaptation of the world of the 25th century. However, if he were truly honest with himself, a selfish anthropological curiosity was also at work here, particularly driving this encounter. While Adam Collier was not a thawed out Neanderthal, brought back sorry, Neanderthal, brought back to life from a prehistoric era, nor the result of some anomalous temporal displacement wave like the one that had ensnared a younger Kelly Grayson from 7 years into the past and thrust her into the present. He still represented a once in a lifetime opportunity for a cultural observation. If perhaps not in actuality, Al was in all the ways that mattered a relic from a bygone era. From anyone, historical expert or otherwise, it was almost irresistible. The 20th century, hell, even most of the 21st, had been a period of tribalism, paranoia, and division. It was an odd hybrid of great leaps forward in terms of technologically and scientific growth, combated by a desire by many cultural corners to maintain a vice-like grip on the ways of the past. It was something of a marvel that the human species had managed to squeeze through this narrow hole of history and to emerge on the other side ready to embrace its own future, a future that would eventually blossom into the galactic wonder that was the planetary union. When he entered, the first thing he noticed that Adam had shaved. Al was not a psychiatrist, but it seemed to him that the attention to grooming was a good sign of mental stabilization. The man stood facing away from him, staring out a window at a fluttering light of the distant and not so distant stars.
It's Quite a view, isn't it?
said Ed benignly. Adam did not answer and did not move.
You can't see Earth from here, but I can point out a few stars that have planets a lot like it. Interested?
Again, he did not answer. Ed was about to shift tactics when Adam suddenly spoke.
Does Germany still exist?
While a perfectly predictable inquiry of a man of his era, it was somehow, with all this galactic splendor on display, not the first question Ed was expecting. It was absurdly small, inconsequential. Nonetheless, he was careful with his answer. He wanted to encourage this hard-grained artifact of a man to be open and honest, without veering toward a complaint himself. You couldn't just stretch out a hand in friendship to a minion.
The architectural and cultural history of Germany still exists. There are plentiful records of the past and no shortage of literature available on the subject. But it's not quite the way you remember it. Earth is now a single, unified, global civilization with all kinds of people working together.
Adam emitted what could either have been a prolonged sigh or a long growl and closed his eyes.
And we failed.
Ed took a cautious step forward.
How so? We fought a war to secure Germany's position as a dominant ruling power in Europe and someday perhaps the world. We did not succeed. Adam,
Said Ed patiently.
the war you were fighting was lost centuries before you were born. This is a brand new world, and if I may say so, a better one. I think you'd be pleased. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised if you open up your mind a little. Do you work with those guys? Why do you ask that?
For the first time, Adam turned to face Ed. A look of disgust dripped down his face like melting butter.
Your doctor. She is a Swartz. I have seen others here. If you employ such creatures, perhaps you employ those guys.
This was a hard one to explain thoroughly to a man out of time. The world that was so routine and ordinary to Ed was utterly new to this man. Ed tried nonetheless.
The fundamentals of your question presuppose a cultural separatism that is irrelevant in this century.
Adam brimmed with hostile impatience.
Do those guys exist? We no longer slice up our identities that way.
Ed responded calmly.
We are one species working in tandem with hundreds of other species as part of a larger planetary union. It's just different than what you know.
There was a slight moment, then Adam sat down on the edge of the bed.
You speak as though you believe you have a utopia that you've built, but in fact, all you've done is pollute yourselves.
Ed was beginning to get a taste of what daily life must have been like for 400 years ago, rife with grandiose drama over stakes that now meant nothing.
If you can put yourself in the other guy's shoes,
He said.
you can walk a lot. You can walk a lot further. That's what I found, and that's what your Germany failed to grasp. You allowed them to breed, to infect. That's the computer talking.
Adam cocked his head in a way that, had it not been tainted by such a confused, defensive, derisive expression, would have also have reminded of Ed of Isaac.
The computer? Try and understand this.
Ed explained.
Your entire worldview has been shaped by a machine blindly executing an algorithm. There was no conscious effort to persuade you of any specific ideology. The computer was just simply responding to your actions and decisions and adjusting its programming accordingly. It was trying to service you. It even protected you from real danger, real pain.
Hold on. Sorry about that. Ed, even more resolved now, took
Well,
another.
hold on. A flash of inspiration burst across its mind.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A flash of inspiration burst across Ed's mind. Risky, but inspired.
In fact, you've never felt pain, have you? No, of course not. The safeties were on the entire time. For your entire life, you've been shielded. You felt pain.
Ed, even more resolved now, took another step closer.
You think you have, but the simulator doesn't allow a user to be hurt beyond a superficial degree. Have you ever been kicked, punched, You ever cut yourself? Never really put a dent in your day, did it? But you must have seen hurt happen to others. Didn't it ever strike you as odd that you were spared?
Adam tensed as Ed drew still closer.
Stand up!
Ed ordered. He was met with nothing but a look of defiance.
Stand up if you're really a soldier.
Adam snorted with dismissal, chin high and swaggering forth. However, he rose. The second he was secure on his feet, Ed swung. Adam was down like a sack of potatoes, twitching on the floor for all the world like Lieutenant Yaphet. He suddenly looked like a stunned, wide-eyed toddler who had taken a hard fall but has not yet begun to cry. From Adam's perspective, it was indescribable, the most horrific feeling he had ever experienced. It felt as if his own body was turning against him, gnawing at his face from inside, consuming itself. He tasted something strange and oddly salty on his lip. His tongue darted out of his mouth, probing for the source and found wetness. Instinctively, he put a hand to his mouth and pulled it away, examining his findings. Blood. He looked up at Ed, feeling real fear. What otherworldly power was this? Was it a weapon? Who were these people? And how could they be capable of such malevolence? Ed looked down at Autumn Color and felt pity, but the lesson was done.
Understand this. That's a mosquito bite compared to what you did to those people, or what you thought you did.
He walked away, returning to the living area.
Maybe he'll talk to you now.
He said to the colliers, but his confidence in his words was low. He opened his mouth to say more, but thought better of it and departed in silence. Ooh.
All right.
Wow. Okay. So he got punched.
Yeah. And he's never felt that type of pain before because, as Ed said, the computer has shielded him from actual harm.
Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, he doesn't know how to react to it. Like, what is this?
It's like it's that one. It's the idea of like sometimes someone just needs a good ass kicking to straighten them up.
True.
And so I mean he didn't. I mean, well, he did kick it. He did kind of kick his ass, but
sure.
But I mean, like he hit him so hard, it put fear into him. So
yeah, exactly. It kind of reminds me of the Jack Skellington thing when he's in the Christmas land. Basically, he's like, "What's this? What's this?" and everything like that. And it reminds me of that.
Right. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, so now Adam is like realizing that the world is harsher than he thought it was. And that his way of his ideology, his way of belief and believing stuff is now very primitive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the way things transpired so quickly in there too for him.
Right. Yeah, because he was just like, so now he's accepting that this is the real world. The world he lived in was never real. But now he's coming to terms with it. It was like, you guys, I've seen all the aliens you work with. You probably have, yeah.
Yeah, probably thinking, who the heck is this? Who the heck is that?
Right. But yeah, so now he's coming to terms with it. It was like, oh my God, you guys polluted yourselves.
It's like, really? You're gonna say that's tainting yourselves? Ugh.
I was like, I mean, like this world is obviously more advanced than yours.
Exactly. I mean, we've advanced so much since the 30s, especially with technology. That's for one thing that's different.
Yeah. I mean, even like, today, nowadays or whatever, if you took someone from that time and you brought them here, it would be a huge cultural shock.
Yes, it would. I mean, I think about people who even from other cultures that aren't used to America, and they're like, well, what's this? What's that? I don't understand this, because they're used to being in one environment, and then to see something different, like, huh?
Right.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, poor Adam, he got socked.
Yeah. I should have, like, when it happened, I should have been like,
yeah, like, yes.
I should have had a little pow thing pop up, like,
Oh yeah, like the Batman, they go, pow.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, wow. Poor Adam. I mean, I don't think he's going to adjust well in the current society.
No, I don't think so either.
I think he's just going to be struggling. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but I don't think he's going to be very happy in the 25th century, even though we've advanced obviously quite a bit
No,
since.
because he's so set in his ways. He's probably it's probably going to be impossible to like reprogram him.
Right.
Yeah, like unprogram all the bad stuff, reprogram in all the modern.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's used to being certain things that are true, and then to be, he's gonna have to. If he did, he'd have to be taught everything again. Say this is what the history was, yeah, but this is the way it is now. It's like a big culture shock for him.
Hmm.
He's got to learn how at least 500 years of history. He's got to learn, and I don't think He's ready for that,
No,
honestly.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think about Lacella. She had a bit of a time shift for her from her. Where
She had a pretty big culture shock. Yeah, you're right. It was. I mean, when she was brought on the first time, yeah, that was a big culture shock for her. Like she wanted to take pictures so bad.
and then there's a nope, nope, nope.
Not happening. It's like, but then how will people know? Then how will people know? Like exactly, they won't believe you exactly.
Exactly. And then I guess she didn't. I guess she didn't adjust very well soon afterwards because the fact is she stole something from them and wants to come back, and then they come get her. And
Oh no, yeah, she contacted them and then they returned and then it was her and she wanted to go like on the ship.
right
But
for
the reason
diplomacy.
but the reason why it was like secretly was so that she can steal information, bring it back
Hmm.
to
Right.
thinking that she's going to be able to use it responsibly.
They had to tell her, nope, you can't do that. This is
Nope.
why we can't bring it back to you.
Right. But yeah,
Um,
but then she decides to stay, doesn't she?
she did. She did try to
So
make that.
so like it'd be nice to see her in the next season.
Right, exactly. To find out what happened to her, how she's adjusting. Because when we last saw her was at the wedding for Isaac and Claire and everything like that. So that was nice to see her there. And she obviously helped plan some of that for her, I think, in a way, saying, "Hey, you should do this, you should do that," kind of thing.
Right. Right. That
But yeah,
was yeah, that was pretty fun.
yeah. I mean, it was nice
I'd,
to
I'd
see
like
a familiar
I
face.
like I like to see her like interact with the crew. Maybe maybe find. I mean, I know she's not going to be able to like you know like be the like be an engineer or something like that. But maybe she could open up open her own bar
Sure, I could see that. I mean, because they did
within
have.
within the ship and have like a little version of 10. I know they have a 10 forward type of thing there, but like maybe have her run it.
Maybe because I know the person that was running, I think is Jason Alexander, if I remember correctly. But we didn't see him that much this season. I do remember that.
Right, right. But yeah, I mean, maybe have like her working for him or something like that, or
Yeah,
running it. Yeah,
sure. I mean, I'd love to see her as a cadet, maybe for the Planetary Union, along with a lot of the other ones like Topa and
I
Marcus. And,
I'm hoping that Topa and Marcus are
yes,
part of the crew at that point, like as ensigns or something. Or
yeah, exactly. They've advanced a lot. Those kids
or-
have really,
yeah, I agree. That'll be fun to see.
definitely.
Um, yeah, I'd like to see. I definitely want resolution when it comes to Ed's daughter.
Yes, Anaya. Yes, I hope she does get some peaceable resolution because, yeah, the way things happen with that. All we know is that she's restricted from Ed, and Ed obviously really wants to be back with her.
Right? But I mean, like now that what's her name is in jail,
Yeah, Talea. Hmm.
Talia. Now that she's in jail, like I'm pretty sure he can just go back there anytime he wants. And
I'm
well,
sure
maybe
he.
not. Okay, no, maybe not every time but
But
he can make his way back there somehow.
yeah, he can finally get her out of that environment for sure.
Yeah, and I'd like to see a resolution with that. I'd like to see her and
Hmm.
him united. So
Definitely. Yeah, because he hasn't been around her, and I think he really wants to be around her now, knowing that he has this
Right.
child.
And it would be interesting to see his like how he handles fatherhood.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Because we,
because we've seen how Topa and I mean uh, Bortus and Clyden have dealt with their child. We've seen
right.
how Claire deals with her children, and as well as with Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see Ed and I don't know, maybe Kelly try, maybe as a
Sure.
surrogate mother of some sort.
Sure. I mean, it'd be interesting to see Seth MacFarlane in a fatherly figure because we see him in a comedic way when he's doing the Family Guy stuff like that, when he's playing Peter Griffin.
Sure.
But to see him in a more serious thing, I think that would be a very interesting thing to see him in that. It would be a very stretch for him for sure to see how much he's grown since his early days on television and stuff.
I mean, if you look at that Star Trek fan film he made back when he
Yes.
was a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and you look and you look at the quality of the Orville, you know what I mean? Especially the third season.
Yeah, big difference.
Is yeah, I mean, of course he's improved. He's
Oh
improved.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Because he used to be almost comedic all the time when he did stuff, but then gradually he started pulling away from that comedic side and started getting to the more dramatic side.
right. Makes sense.
I mean, I love to see that growth in a person when they go from you think they're one way and then you see them in a different way. Like, oh, they've matured in ways that you didn't expect them to, but in a good way. You're glad to see it.
Exactly. You can see my hand right there. You're ruining the illusion. I'm kidding.
You're so silly. I love you. But yeah, the next one will be chapter 13. Ooh.
Yes. And what I don't know what happens after that. So, I mean, maybe he tries to straighten up. Maybe he tries to learn. I don't know. I haven't read that far into it yet.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I mean, I've skimmed it. I skimmed it a little bit, so I won't spoil
Okay.
it for you guys. But yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. But like I said, the next thing we'll do after we do the novella, we'll do these comics by our good friend Todd, and then after that, we will probably go back to watch parties again. Because I know we did seasons 1 and 2. Now we need to do season 3.
That's a good point.
I mean, we've already done the Orville comics. We've already done most of the series. I mean, we're just trying to extend our Orville content till we get word.
Oh, by the way, I just found this out. Today is October 26, 2023. 2 years ago today, we were at the San Diego Zoo and we met a certain somebody.
Oh, yes, we did. I do remember that.
We met a certain tortoise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just wanted to
Yes.
let you know that happened 2 years ago today.
Yes, I remember that very, very well. And I actually that was actually the first time I met your father in person. That was a nice day. No, that
No,
was the
not that day.
no, that was the following day. I'm sorry, that was the following day.
Yeah, I'm gonna share that on my Facebook so you see it.
But that's really cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, a lot has happened because, yeah, literally, that is no joke, folks. I literally did come out here to California 2 years ago, and here it is. I'm happily married with my darling. We've been married 6 months now. I've been living out here for 4 months now. I'm starting a new job. So, yeah, life is going good.
Yep, yep.
And my mom's move is finally, she just getting settled in there. So she's happy where she is in Tennessee. She's safe with family.
And I have this cool lighting system, so I'm happy.
You are very happy. But yeah. But yeah. But we apologize for the late notice on this one, folks. Like I said, I just found out today I was not going to be working. And yeah, we decided to do the stream. We were going to make it originally at 6 p.m. And then we said, okay, since I'm not working, give us a little time, make it 5 p.m. But we'll give you guys more heads up next time, hopefully.
Yes.
But yeah. But yeah, hope you guys have a good Halloween if we don't see you guys before then. So yeah.
Yes, and we'll like if you we'll take pictures of our setup, of our costumes, of the candies we're gonna give out and stuff like that. So if you give a shit, like you can follow us on Twitter for that stuff.
And if you're in the California area where we are, you're more than welcome to come out to our porch where we can give you candy.
Yes, we won't tell you the address. You have to figure it out for yourself.
No, that is a private information.
You can message us.
Yes, discreetly, yes, but we will not tell you. Like I said, we're not going to put in the chat or in. No, 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 no. You have to contact us. You have to contact either him or me. So yeah, I think that's everything, my dear. Anything you want to cover?
Uh, renew the Orville.
Indeed.
Well, as soon as the strike is over, finish the strike, then renew the Orville.
Get the strike finished, folks. Do it properly. Alrighty. Good night, everyone.